Fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going with the outside of both of them. Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up to him.
Oh my God! Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go. Oh no!
That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
Hey everyone, the USF 2000 is a blast to drive now, and here's your chance to learn it quickly. From my tutorial, VRS created a free bonus track guide for the Laguna Seca circuit, where you can learn exactly what I do in every corner to improve your lap times and get faster on track. You'll learn how to easily recognize brake markers, you'll find out which curves to attack and which ones to avoid, you'll know when to use the full track and when a sequence of corners requires a compromise. And you'll learn how hard to brake and when to lift. The VRS Quick Reference track maps are available free to download and delivered each week to your inbox. The entire global MX-5 series is available, as well as bonus maps like this one and many more. So if you're a new racer, or a veteran, or just anyone who wants to learn how to get faster sooner, the VRS track guides are for you. Just hit the link or button on screen and get yours today.
This is a legendary place. It's a legendary place for a number of reasons. One of those reasons is the one that people don't really like to talk about. The resting place, the legendary Jim Clark, two-time Formula One world champion and driver who, above all others, is considered one of, if not the greatest driver to ever step behind the wheel. You have this track, though, as a place of change, a place where you can find all aspects of driving. You still have the old with the stadium section, but you now have the new at circa 2002 with the hairpin and the run through the middle sector. This is Hockenheim. This is a track which, for many people, serves as one of the great testing grounds that you find yourself with here today. And with the iRacing Grand Prix Series, McLaren MP430s and 44 laps of racing action, this is a testing ground for everybody as they bring themselves to racing action. This is a track which has all of the hallmarks for making great racing happen, and we see it here today as we get ourselves ready for action and get ourselves underway soon for action qualifying underway at this moment in time. I'm Jake Sperry, joined alongside by Scott Fountain here in the commentary box. But before we get into anything important, let's take a little look and situate ourselves with where we are today. We are in the heart of Germany as we take a look from Google Earth, as we will zoom on down in. We're just a little bit under Frankfurt at the moment, halfway between Frankfurt and Munich, the likes of Prague, Salzburg, Zurich, Paris, Brussels, and The Hague there on our map as we zoom on down in to this Hockenheim circuit. And you can see from this aerial picture, you can still see the outlines of the old circuit which goes on down, but it's this new circuit which has this move at the Einfahrt Parabolica through the other Parabolica and that run to the very, very, very difficult Spitzkirche there as we move on forward. It's such a wonderful track, Fonty, to get yourself in and around, and one which really does prioritise what point do you need to try and work out the setup.
Yes, you're exactly right, Sperry. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another night of sim speed action here on Saturday night. And yeah, what a fantastic track that we're at. Very long and very fast circuit. So expect to see some pretty spectacular action, I reckon, tonight, Sperry.
And absolutely, if you look at the grid, we've got 28 car grids. This is popular for a lot of the drivers here today as they want to get themselves all situated. But let's take a little look at what it takes to go around this Hockenheim ring circuit. It's a wonderful track to go out there and battle with here at SimSpeed TV, and hopefully we get the opportunity to do so with thanks to the Virtual Racing School, of course. Wonderful sponsor here with us today at SimSpeed TV, will be for the entirety of the year. But this is the Hockenheim Ring Baden-Württemberg circuit, and this is how you get around this one. On board we go, heading towards that Nord curve with Martin Kroenke. Home circuit for him as he charges through. You can use a lot of curb there on the outside, and then you've got this relatively short run. It does pinch there as they come off of the pit exit towards turn number 2. So watch that through this race. Third gear, and then you're always trying to modulate the power as then you work out where the first DRS zone is. This long parabolica corner really does set up the run to that Spitzkirche hairpin, which makes all the difference. 334 Ks, and you have to slow it all the way down to just about under 70. So you now charge back away again through this small kink right to the Mercedes 90-degree left-hander. It's a very difficult left-hander. It feels like it is so much more because it is tipped off camber as you go through this section. Then you've got the next right that's flowing fifth gear. You're always fighting there. Little mini corrections by Martin Kroenke. Definitely nothing to be ashamed of through there. Now you enter the stadium section through Mobile 1. It's all over the curb for heading through the Sachs curve, which is one of the key places to go and get a move done through this very narrow 2-car only section. The Nord curve finishes the lap then through turn number 16, and that is a lap on board here at Hockenheim for the time being. So that, Fonzie, is a blast around this place. Lap times at the moment, well, 1:13.8 currently the quickest right now. Adam Gleeson, the quickest in qualifying.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and fantastic lap there from Martin Kroenke, one of the legends of sim racing. And yeah, I reckon that they must be close to having an average of over 200 kilometers an hour throughout a lap around this place, because yeah, they're hitting over 300, I think, about 3 times. So yeah, I certainly expect to see plenty of action tonight, and not really much room for error. If you make a slight little error, and especially at those high speeds, we're going to see some pretty big action, I reckon.
Could be in a world of trouble if it does go wrong, but the focus is going to be here around this place. Let's take a look at the championship standings and see how everybody stacks themselves up at this moment. We're 2 rounds through the season, but it is very clear to see that Matteo Ugolotti has been the driver to beat. 2 wins out of 2 with us here at SimSpeed TV, with Jorge Martinez in second and Diogo Oliveira moving up into third position. It's a case of drivers looking to try and get their form in early. Ugolotti very, very happy with things at the moment, and really driver to beat here tonight.
Yes, certainly right. Hasn't quite set a lap time as of yet, but not too far away from doing so. Driven a fantastic season so far, and yeah, stayed out of trouble, which is what you need to do. So yeah, expect him to have some tight competition tonight with some yeah, pretty top gun drivers here.
Yeah, and there are some really strong drivers who are looking for the best possible results they can here today. And Ugolotti is just making progress now through the second sector of the lap and hoping that this lap is going to be a good one to start with. Definitely going to be trying to push as much as possible to make sure that everything is going to be lining up the way that he very much wants to. So now you start thinking about, okay, final few corners will be coming up through now over the line. Is this good for Ugolotti here at this stage? No, he's going to have to go again and get himself that chance. He has the time to do so. A couple of drivers also haven't set lap times. John-Pat Kelly, Brian Molitor, Stefan Piotrowski and David Weisbeck. Driver on pole position, though, at this moment in time. Get this, it's the former Porsche Super Cup driver, Ayhancan Guven, who is up there on a 13.747.
Yeah, super fast, and considering how fast this track is, lap times are not that far apart, really. Yeah, Ugolotti not quite having the run that he wanted to on that first lap, but I'm sure we will see him put it somewhere up within the top 5, I reckon.
Well, you look at the top 5, you've got Adam Gleeson second, Matt Wood is in third, and it's Bradley Philpott in 4th place, and Sergio Borgia rounding out the top 5 right now. But Ugolotti into the stadium section, really looking to attack here every single corner that he's got nice and neat. He goes through the Sachs curve. Now he's got this transfer to deal with, and he takes that wide line to the second part to open up as much as possible here. Has a wiggle mid-corner. You can see how much he is pushing as he tries to go for it. 13.7 to beat, and he managed it. No, he didn't manage it there. He was down by 0.03 of a second. I thought he got it. He did not. Ugolotti just short as he went to the line, and that's a real shame for him. He has been beaten for the first time in qualifying. Everybody done now in qualifying, and we can bring up the starting grid then for you. This is how everyone is going to line up. It is the Turkish driver Ayhancan Guven then on pole position, 1:13.748, has Matteo Ugolotti for company then in second position, number 1 and number 2 by iRacing, 1 and 2 in the field. Adam Gleeson then will start from 3rd place. He has Matt Wood there in 4th, and it's 3 Brits in a row with Bradley Philpott there, the BTCC stand-in for Jason Plato there in 5th place. He has Sergio Borgia there alongside on row number 3. 7th place then will go to Diogo Oliveira, who will be looking to try and charge back through the pack, and it's an all-Brazilian affair as Renato Augusto starts then in 8th position overall, with Jorge Martinez down a little bit in 9th place, with Mitchell Welker then in 10th overall. You got in 11th Klaus Siemitz there, the German, with Ben Horrell in 12th place, with Thomas Bartosic 3rd in the championship. He starts 13th today, has Kent Nielsen there in 14th position as well. Nico Veiranen is 15th, Dan Buffton P16 for him, Cedric Beale all the way down in 17th position, along with Christoph Montz, who is there in 18th. 19th then goes to Dan Jiang, with Imran Magal in 20th position. The Dutchman Ray Griffioen starts in 21st, with Ossian Richards in 22nd position. Jan Stratinsky then and Stefan Piotrowski are 23rd and 24th. Then you've got Adam Webb, the last driver to set a representative lap time. David Weisbeck, John-Pat Kelly and Brian Molitor did not put lap times in on the board. They will be arranged by iRating. Drivers look to get themselves singled up onto the grid. There is Ugolotti, who will have the inside going into turn number 1, but will be starting on the dirty side of the circuit, so we'll be needing a very good run. And of course, the way that turn 1 tends to bottleneck and narrow itself up the Nord curve, it's very easy to find incident if you're not careful through this section. We'll be keeping an eye out on that. Ayhancan Guven running the baseline colours as the green flag goes, and 44 laps underway. He struggles off the line, and so does Gleeson as he had to go to avoidance. He drops all the way back to 5th place. Philpott trying to find a way through, and that is not the start that Guven wanted here as they go through, and Welker in trouble then in the early stages. We've got dramas in the background there. Renato Augusto, I believe it was, going around a little bit in towards turn 1. He found the tyres, but everyone else, other than that, doing a pretty decent job as they get themselves going, and now they charge to Parabolica for the first time. Borgia under pressure now as Guven then gets the toe.
Yep, pretty clean start really, as we've got, one of the drivers Guven there. He's gone way off. That was our pole sitter, just gone way wide, and he's dropped right back to 8th position now.
He has, but he's going to get through on Jorge Martinez as they battle on through just in front. Sergio Borgia then having eyes in front. That's Diogo Oliveira trying to get through. Not going to happen. Another driver runs a little bit wide then going through. That's Dan Buffton taking that design through and is now fighting again with Mitchell Welker, who is not happy earlier on as someone's going to go straight off in the background there. That's Ray Griffioen hard into the wall.
Yeah, the big impact there for Griffioni. He made a good start. Good first few corners. Don't know what's happened there. We're going to have to go back and have a look because he just fired it straight off.
Yeah, he just outbroke himself, I think, there, Fonty. So that would have been why that one all fell into troubles. Ugolotti, though, no dramas at the front. Already out to a gap of 2 seconds. Of course, the drag reduction system doesnn't come into play until lap 3. Let's catch this on the virtual racing score replay. What's happened to Ray Griffioen then? Because he's looking to line up that move. In fact, he was about to be overtaken here on the run to Mobile 1. He just gets caught on the outside, grabs a cone, and then, well, he can't get it stopped at that point. I wonder if he's had a failure of some kind.
Yeah, certainly looked like there was some sort of failure because it just didn't really turn, did it? So, yeah, disappointing end to his race as he's just come into the pit lane, get that car repaired. But, yeah, fantastic start there for Ugolotti. He's already up to a 2.2 second lead. Then back to Matt Wood, Adam Gleeson closely behind in 3rd, and Bradley Philpott in 4th.
Yep, and Bradley Philpott looking very, very dicey against the fiercely forward McLaren MP430 there of Adam Gleeson. He wants to try and find a way forward, to try and find a way through, but he's thinking about this right now. It's a long race, 44 laps, 1 pit stop probably is going to be the way forward with the tyres. So keep that in mind as this race will continue, and strategy is going to be the key to how you win this race outright. It's one of those circuits where you are reliant a little bit more on the downforce, especially in sector number 3. But battles up and down the order as we focus still on Philpott. Look how close he gets, but this time, for the first time, he will have the DRS to help him through the parabolic left all the way to that Spitz curve hairpin. The big disadvantage, though, well, look at the car in front. The number 7 also has DRS, so also will be able to mitigate the damages.
Yep, exactly right. Plenty of battle packs starting to form themselves up, and yeah, just looking at that first lap, the front tyres are going to get an absolute hiding here. Just taking a look at Ben Horrell. He's, side-by-side action. Oh, and he's getting pushed way out to the grass. Oh, sidewalk. Oh, this is
wow
stuff.
It is, and very nearly was the move, but he gets around the outside. He'll have the inside now for the next left. They've been fighting since the hairpin at the Spitz curve, and finally it's done. But look at what it's allowed here. Here's Mitch Welker onto the scene, straight down the inside, and he didn't need 5 corners. He only needed the 1.
Yep, yeah, and it really shows that if you go side by side for too long, you're going to give an advantage to the cars behind you. Can Ben Horrell catch up that 2.1 seconds to Kent Nielsen just up the road there in 10th position?
Well, there's a long time to go and try and catch that up. Here's the focus, though. There is Jorge Martinez, who is in 8th place. He's up 1 so far in this race, is the Spaniard. But crucially, Ayhancan Guven just in front. So these drivers all trying to work together. Now, keep an eye out on how this works for Jorge Martinez, because he's the sort of driver who is very, very good at saving the tyres. Round goes Reynaldo Augusto right in front of John Pat Kelly, who has to come to a standstill.
Yep, absolutely guttering there for him, and John Pat Kelly, he had to stop right in his tracks. So side-by-side action just a little bit further up the way.
Oh, in the middle of this, we'll need to catch this replay right now here, which we're seeing at this moment in time. So a good move then. So this is what happens. It's with Cedric Beale, who looks for the inside. Just a case of couldn't cut the nose off the way that's wanted. But stay on replay. Go to Bradley Philpott. He's just made move of the race into Mercedes, and it's very easy to, difficult to say that, seeing as we're only 4 laps in, but look at the way he tries to set this one up right now. He gets all the way across, and from nowhere, he sends a big lunge down the inside and gets the move done.
Yeah, Gleeson wouldn't have been expecting that as he approached that corner. Yeah, fantastic move and well executed, that's for sure. Ugolotti out to 3.6 seconds, so fast of the field at the moment. Matt Wood doing a fantastic job there in second. Plenty of battles throughout the field. Not many cars have started on the medium tyre. They're all pretty much on softs, apart from P17 currently, and Adam Webb back there in 24th. So expect those guys' strategy to be slightly different to the remaining of the field.
Lots of the drivers will be hoping that soft is the way forward in terms of their tyre life. Those on the mediums are going to be going for that medium soft stint and guarantee that one stop as they go through. Little bit of battling, though, still continuing, and there was trouble down at the hairpin there at the Spitz curve in the back. It was the likes of David Weisbeck, I do believe, who found himself in the middle of trouble as he was so late on the brakes, actually lost it sideways and ran straight into the side of Imran Magal.
Yep. Very, very difficult corner to get right, and he just slid into that one. I was lucky not to cause a bigger accident than what it did. Just seeing it here on replay. Oh, they were lucky to get away with that one.
Yeah, it was just the rear axle there, I believe, locking up under braking. Very easy to do, but that's how difficult it is to get it slowed from what is the fastest point on the circuit down to the slowest. There is Diogo Oliveira. He's on the back of this train right now behind Bradley Philpott, sat in 6th position at this moment in time as he tries to stay with Sergio Borgia, Adam Gleeson and Bradley Philpott. Matt Wood has done enough to pull away to about 1.5 seconds over Philpott. Here's some side-by-side. This is Buffton and Mons, but Mons is going to fall back into line then. He can't quite get the move sorted just yet, but there is still, of course, that pit stop that's coming through and a move behind as David Weisbeck and Adam Webb go side by side into the Spitz curve, and Cedric Beale, opportunistic, dives down the inside and picks one off.
There we go, fantastic battles there, and a great move there by Cedric Beale. Sergio Borgia right on the back of Adam Gleeson there. He's putting plenty of pressure on, and Bradley Philpott just pulling away ever so slightly from Gleeson. Just managing to hold that distance to Matt Wood. But yeah, expect if any mistake is made by any of these drivers, you're going to find the guy behind you on the back of you pretty quickly.
You certainly are, and this is the sort of track which really does punish mistakes. It's a very intensive track which is full of corners which are there to punish. Now into the pits then comes one driver, and it is David Weisbeck. No surprises there. He has been struggling with the way forward in terms of this race, so he's been looking at everywhere he's needed to go, and it's not quite happened. So Oliveira right now looking to try and stay with these drivers who are doing a pretty good job of staying in the train, but they are being caught. They are all slower than the next 3 drivers behind, Bartosic, Martinez and Hankan Guven, who are all now starting to close themselves up onto this train.
Yep, Oliveira putting a bit of pressure on Borgia there. A nice battle pack here from 4th way back to 10th, basically. This guy's just running a nice line of order. I've got another one. Oh, Dan Buffton. Big impact for Buffton. And he's lost the rear and the front end of the car. So we'll go back and have a look and see what's happened there. I'm guessing that the rear's just come around on him.
It looks like that's the case. We catch this on the virtual racing school replay here as we get an eye out on what's happened. It's coming through Mobile 1 corner here, this right hand, which is all about taking as much speed as you can, gets on the curve and up, round you go, and bang, that's a hard hit there into the wall. He's lucky he's actually not come back out onto the circuit there as he immediately dives it into the pits. Dan Jiang also in the pits after losing his front wing in a hit earlier on with Weisbeck and co. So that's where you see those changes happening. Nice little pack going on, though, a little bit behind this one that you see on screen. You've got Kent Nielsen here with Ben Horrell and Mitchell Welker here, all scrapping it out for what is the final spots here inside the top 10, and it's not going to be ideal at all. Renato Augusto having a huge moment on the radio. He was going, oh no, oh my brakes.
Yep, we'll have to go back and have a look and see what's happened there. But yeah, certainly was very vocal over the in-game chat. So yes, yeah, not a good race for Ronaldo Augusto. He's been involved in a bit of drama throughout this, and he's sitting way back in 24th position.
Yeah, couldn't get it slowed, and then there's the hit. At that point, where do you go? It's such a corner conducive to that sort of hit because it is so narrow as you go through that section. So there is the hit that doesn't really do much to help here, but that we see as we go back to live into the pits comes Reynaldo Augusto. He is so talented as a driver. He just can't keep himself out of trouble.
Yeah, not a night to remember for him tonight, that's for sure. But yeah, Adam Gleeson having a good run. He's managed to close that gap slightly to Bradley Philpott. And yeah, this battle pack from third back to sort of eighth position with Marquinez is heading up quite nicely, actually.
Side by side there is Klaus Siemet just about holding off Nico Veyronen at this moment in time. Need a good run through this section, but this is where the dirty air effect comes in through Mobile 1, which makes that move into the Sachs curve just a little bit more difficult to go and make happen. So everyone just trying to suss out where they are. We are on lap 9 here, going on to lap 10 right now of your 44, and this is going to be where drivers start considering thinking about when they need to pit. Probably drivers want to try and make it to lap 22 if they can. If they want to go one stop and go soft medium, they're probably looking anywhere between lap 12 to 16 as that point in time, as Philpott here is really under pressure. To the outside goes Adam Gleeson, winner last season at Spa-Francorchamps. Can't get it done this time.
Yep, it looks like the front tyres are getting a real big workout, so I think that's where he's struggling. He's worked them a bit too hard earlier on. He had some great pace, and now it looks like Gleeson wants to try and get it done. But is Oliveira going to take advantage of this, and we're going to see a four-way battle within the next few corners? I reckon it might be on.
Yeah, it definitely does look like it is on, but not quite yet at the moment, as we focus on all of these drivers trying to find a way through. Someone who is going to be watching.
There we go.
And there
Philpott
is the move.
in the lane already.
Yep, so Bradley Philpott, lap 10. Oh, in the wall. In the wall. I believe that is Sergio Borgia, who effectively Timo Glocks himself into the wall through the final corner. A horrible, horrible hit as he went on through, but it's as easy as that when it goes wrong, and you can see he just lost the back end, and you've got nowhere to go and recover.
Yeah, and it was the worst position possible. He'd have to complete a whole nother lap, and he's just given up for the day and called it for the rest of the night. So he was having a fantastic drive, and he'll be absolutely gutted with himself. The rear end just came around on him, just riding on board here. Just got on the gas slightly a bit too aggressively, and before you know it, he's in the wall. So he'll be absolutely disappointed with himself.
Yep, so that's going to be something to worth keep in mind. Now, the way that Philpott's come out of the pits, he's just said to Jan, I'm on a different strategy here. Can you let me go, please? I'd be really grateful, because Jan is yet to pit. Bradley Philpott is, and he does not want to be held up. 4.4 seconds the number 4 had in the box, so lucky number maybe as he goes on through, but he knows he's got to get up to him if he wants to get by, and there are no freebies in these sorts of races, so he's got to keep that in mind. We also have more drivers in the pits. Imran Magal has come in for his stop, has now fallen 1 lap down because of how long that stop has been, so that's more drivers then deciding to make their time. 37.3 second stop.
Yep, very long stop there. Just riding along with Oliveira. He's sitting comfortably there in P4 now, just closing down that gap to Gleeson, who is driving a fantastic race so far. Closest battle that we have on track is Ben Horrell and Michael Wecker. Those guys sitting back there in P9, P10.
And they're trying to do as much as they can to try and get their places all sorted. So that battle then continues as they head towards the Mercedes curve. Now, that is Philpott getting the move done. Stratinsky here did not make that one easy for Bradley Philpott. He had to lunge for that move, and it's taken him a whole lap to find a way around. So this would be costing him in terms of those rivals, and that's one of the things you need to be careful of around this circuit, working out where you need to be in terms of traffic out on circuit. If you can't work out where you need to be going out, the best thing for you to do is to stay out a little bit longer and then work out exactly where the gap is. Still no takers aside from that at this moment in time, but still it is Mitchell Welker and Ben Horrell trying to work things out, and they didn't have the best of times coming towards turn number 1 of this race, so it makes me think that this is going to be hard fought.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Meanwhile, Matteo Ugolotti absolutely in a race of his own, just punching out lap time after lap time, a half second faster than P2 of Matt Wood that last lap by. Oliveira second fastest on track at the moment with a 16.1, so he is closing that gap quickly to Adam Gleeson. Looks like he's looking after those fronts a little bit more than potentially what Gleeson is. And yeah, as long as he continues to keep it clean, we could see a successful finish for him.
Ooh, hello. There's a little bit of a wide line from Ben Horrell in the pink, and that will mean that it's position change then, as Welker finds a way up into what is 9th position at this moment on track. So a very nice and easy move. You don't often get freebies, but that was about as much of a freebie as you can find around this circuit. There is Ayhancan Guven at this stage, the Turkish driver, but he is at this stage now under pressure. Over the laps that we have been seeing, he's dropped DRS compared to Diogo Oliveira, who's been charging in front. This has brought Jorge Martinez into the battle, as into the pits comes Ben Horrell. Clearly the tyres starting to let go.
Yeah, exactly right. Govain, he isn't a regular here that we certainly see on a Saturday night for this particular series. So yeah, maybe not quite as experienced in these cars as what these other guys are. Did a fantastic lap time in qualifying, but yeah, struggling in the race.
Certainly is struggling in the race. He's not going to have everything his own way, which maybe he would have thought of at this moment as the continued battling comes into play. Philpott with another move now. He's got to get past Brian Melito a little bit further back, but you can see that gap 0.3 of a second on screen to get a big look at that wing that is going through, and it's almost like you're trying to hide behind it there if you are Diogo Oliveira. He's tucked up under trying to get himself, Jorge Martinez. He's tucked up under trying to get himself there, but he is not in a position right now where he wants to be making moves. He'll be happily just sitting back there waiting and trying to save as much tyre as he can.
Yeah, just going to jump on Martinez and see if he's trying to save any fuel at the same time. Probably not, because it's not a fuel race, so just shot myself in the foot there. But riding on board with him anyway to see if he's going to try and make this move, or is he just going to sit behind and wait for a mistake to happen?
Well, that will be the question. Martinez up 3 places at the moment with various pit stops in cycle at this moment in time. Not close enough just yet into the hairpin to make it happen, but Guven takes a wider line coming out of it. Just in front, you've got Oliveira here, who is trying everything, but again, Martinez with a really strong run. This might be a chance to open it up into Mercedes, but does not have the commitment to do that. Small lockup from Ayhancan Guven then, as the move does not materialise, but Martinez really starting to harass here, and they are starting to drop time.
Yeah, he's putting the pressure on. There we go, and the pressure's got to him. And there goes Jorge Martinez, moved up into P number 5. So fantastic driving there. We've got Adam Gleeson in the pit lane now, Sperry.
And the race leader. Yeah, Matteo Ugolotti then dives down into the lane. Ayhancan Guven will also be down there in the pit struggling. So we start to see the window come into play. This will promote Matt Wood up then into the race lead at this moment in time. Now remember that gap was 5 seconds. Ugolotti out and away. He'll come out just behind Klaus Siemet. But there is Matt Wood, your race leader, going through the hairpin. And there is where Matteo Ugolotti is, just going through that first parabolica. The second one he comes to right now. So 4.18 seconds there, that stop for Matteo Ugolotti. And crucially, yellow wall, medium compound tyre.
Yeah, just going to say that. So is he going to try to go for a 2-stop strategy on this one? Or are we still going to see a 3-stop
No, I think this is very much a long one stop that we're seeing here, Fonty, as Johan Guven comfortably dispatches of that driver yet to come down in and make a stop. In fact, has made a stop that's a lap down there. I believe that's David Weisbeck that he's managed to move on through. Now, in comes Matt Wood here, end of lap 16. Oliveira is going to stay out longer, as is Marquez. So those two deciding that they are going to try and make this one happen soft if they can. They've got 5 more laps to go. If they do, Bartosic will dive down into the pits, as will Welker.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what Matt Wood does choose here for tyre choice. We're going to see him chuck on the Yellow World mediums. Yes, he has. So single stop for Wood, potentially. And a nice quick stop, actually, 3.8 seconds.
Yep, that's a very nice stop. It's worked out for him. Philpott has stayed ahead of Adam Gleeson using the tyres to advantage, and he has halved the gap, or even a bit more, actually, with the way that he's made that stop in comparison to Matt Wood. So great work by Philpott. The one thing he'll be doing, though, is struggling, because look, he's got another set of the soft compound tyres on, which means he's going for a 2-stop strategy here today to try and get himself over the line. It starts to get busy, though, in terms of traffic in front, though, of Matt Wood, because you've got Imran Magal and Oisin Richards here, who are both going, well, one lap down, one fighting for position. That's going to be awkward to try and traverse.
Yeah, certainly is. Interesting choice there from Philpott. Yeah, 2-stop, considering his rivals are doing a single. Don't know if that's the right way to go, but we'll certainly see a bit more pace out of him. So if he can keep it clean and stay out of traffic, then it might work out for him.
I'll tell you what's interesting right now is that Jorge Marquez is in and Diogo Oliveira has stayed out. So Marquez then, who is normally the last of the late pitters, so to speak, is doing well. As here is the move then, full position, as Matteo Ugolotti gets that one done on Veyranen. Took a lap to just about manage. Marquez then, away he goes. But I think Marquez here has done really well on his stop. He has leapfrogged Johan Guven.
Yeah, he certainly has. 3.9 seconds, so half a second in it between Henk and Guven. Yeah, fantastic job there, and just shows, that he races in this category all the time, and he's pretty onto it when it comes to his pit stop. So fantastic job there. The interesting one will be, is Oliveira going to try and push this out for 22 laps to then chuck on another set of softs to make it home? I reckon that might be his strategy call.
Well, we are on lap 18 and he stays out again. So Oliveira trying to go with the strategy that put him in contention last week at Phillip Island for the race victory. A spin cost him the chance to win that one against Ugolotti that time. Got great battles going on from drivers who have yet to pit. Stefan Piotrowski, the Austrian, going at it here with Siemens, as there's a spin for John Pat Kelly there in the TQ Engineering McLaren, and that one did not work for him in the back. But still, this one continues, and this is going to be awkward for the fact and the sole reason that soon they will have Wood and Philpott to deal with. Wood has to actually make a move for position here. This is Oisin Richards in the 22 car, making life very difficult yet to stop, trying to make a one-stop happen.
Yeah, certainly right. And looking at the lap times of those front two guys who have stayed out there now on lap 19, they're doing 1:17.4s versus Ugolotti, who's on a set of mediums. He's punching out 16.5s. So maybe not the strategy that they want to go for if they're going to continue with lap times in that sort of pace range.
So both Wood and Philpott get by Richards. Piotrowski then gets by Siemens, as Siemens had himself a little bit of a trouble, or maybe it was Piotrowski, who is trying to look. But now you got Nico Veyranen there just in front. But now you'll really start to see how it happens. In comes Oliveira, lap 19. Now I think he's actually still in a range here, Fonty, to go to the soft strategy, because the longer that you go in this race and they don't refuel in this one, well, he will have the ability to go out there and save more tyre life during the course of that second stint.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Nielsen deciding to stay out again for another lap. So, yeah, he is trying to push those tyres. 17.7 for Nielsen that last lap. Ugolotti 2.5 seconds behind. Here we go, riding on board with Matt Wood.
and that's Philpott through, and Siemens had to leave the room there. Philpott was making sure, and he's gone, what on earth are you doing there, Klaus? Why have you stuck your nose in? That was a case of Bradley Philpott, in my view, just being a little bit aggressive there with Klaus Siemens. Didn't leave all the room in the world for him.
No, yeah, I think you're exactly right, Sperry. Didn't leave much room at all, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens between these two now.
Well, we've got more drivers in the pits. Jan Stratinsky then coming towards that pit lane. It's such a slow pit lane here as well, so it always feels frustrating when you see drivers go by. Cedric Beal, 27.7 seconds there in the lane for the MXS driver as they go through. And here's another little change going into the Mobile 1 corner there. That was on Klaus Siemens there for Matt Wood as he gets it done. Now Richards trying to go around the outside of Siemens for place, and suddenly Adam Gleeson on the scene.
Yeah, Siemens is really struggling. He hasn't made a stop yet, and he's still continuing to cut laps out there. Yet he is 3.5 seconds off the pace. Last lap time by 1 minute 20.9. So yeah, struggling at this stage.
It's going to be on for the race lead in a second because Kent Nielsen has been caught by Matteo Ugolotti, who has made his stop. He's angling for the inside on the medium compound tyre. He hits the brakes going into the Spitz curve, and Kent Nielsen, well, he does not fight that one at all in terms of that one. So a very, very nice and accomplished move to get that one all sorted out. So that's going to be key in terms of this one. There is Bradley Philpott, who is trying to get past Piotrowski around the outside, who, of course, is on the medium compound tyres, started the race on the mediums. So that is position changed. But remember, Philpott's going to have to make one more stop here in this race. So that move he got on Matt Wood, that wasn't necessarily for position. He's still got to make time making that pit stop again, and he's going to drop way back down the order. I'd have thought behind Hankan Guven, he's going to lose about 27 seconds. That puts him right now in the range of maybe a John Pat Kelly behind a Ben Horrell.
Yeah, well, is he going to try and really look after these tyres and stretch them out? He's done 10 laps on the stint. I'll tell you what, if he does try the tyres, there'll be nothing left of them at the end of the race. Halfway through this race now.
We certainly are, and there is Diogo Oliveira on the soft compound tyre. Keep that in mind. He's up against one Jorge Martinez, who is on the medium compound and is trying to do the very best that he can to hold off who will be one of the fastest drivers in this one. 0.2 of a second quicker that last time by, but Oliveira knows he's got to go out there and he's got to attack well over the course of this and use that life early. Doesn't get himself into position into the Spitz curve this time on lap 22, the halfway lap of the race, but he knows that he's got time on his side to try and gain those places back again.
Certainly does. Just got to look after that set of rubber on the fronts. It's so aggressive on this track on the front tyres, and you can see that they're going to really struggle towards the end of this race. Ugolotti, meanwhile, doing a fantastic job out front there. 3.9 seconds already back to Kent Nielsen. 7.5 seconds back to Philpott, who, Nielsen in the lane.
Yep, so he takes that call. He'll half and half it. Soft will Kent Nielsen. He will have one of the freshest tyres out of the bunch at this stage as he will look to make that stop. There is Oliveira, and also just creeping into view on the back, Hankan Guven there doing a 1:16.2 that last lap by, but Oliveira now wants to try and prove why he is going to be a tough customer to go out there and race against. He's got Martinez just in front, but Martinez doing a really good job of keeping him at bay. Remember, he's one of the best tyre savers in the field, so the fact that he can go this quick and do so while saving a little bit of rubber puts pressure on everybody else in the field to go out there and try and match, if not beat him.
Yeah, you're exactly right. John Pat Kelly back into the lane. It's another stop for him. Only got 2 cars remaining out there who haven't done a stop as of yet. That's Adam Webb in 14th position, and our P3 car, the 18 of Stefan Piotrowski.
Yep, so Piotrowski there, of course, both those drivers started on the medium compound, so they're going to be a little bit later thinking about when they stop. This is lap 23. I'd expect them to go maybe to about lap 30 if they feel like the tyres can handle that far, but he's got mirrors full of Matt Wood at this stage, going through the right of the Nord curve, up, of course, then towards turn number 2, and that opportunity to make a move can happen here, but I think this is going to be all about the basic pass that we see right now through turn 4, over towards the Parabolica, and that Spitz curve, which becomes really key. DRS full bore open for Matt Wood, who will have to take the wider track to make it happen. But here on the inside, he will have the braking zone. He will have the line. He will easily have the position, as Piotrowski just allows him to have that one.
Yeah, Piotrowski has driven a great race so far.
Behind that, look at that. Look behind, that's Oliveira through.
Oliveira got through on Martinez. So those softs versus the mediums, he's trying to work them out. I reckon he's going to have to make another stop, isn't he?
I don't think he does, and that's the key here. He'll struggle on those tyres towards the end, but I think he needs to use that life now before they start to hit that plateau, which can very easily happen here. If you talk in-sim conditions, we're about medium track temp right now, so it's going to be okay for tyre life, I'd feel, especially for those soft compound tyres. So I think that he's gone with the alternative strategy, go to soft. It's the ideal for most drivers who try and make it happen, but the key right now for Oliveira, he's got 2 seconds or so to catch to get to Adam Gleeson, who will now be starting to get a little bit held up behind Stefan Piotrowski.
Yeah, just looking back at Hankan Guven there, a 16.2 that last lap by. He's on the medium compound tyre, so even faster than, no, he's not faster than Oliveira, who's just done a 15.8. But yeah, still pretty good pace. And that car sitting back there in 8th position behind Martinez.
Yep, so that would be net 7th at the moment, and it's all about building a gap. Now we've got another battle out there on track, this one for what is 9th and 10th place, and this one as well looking pretty feisty with Klaus Siemertz and co at this stage. A 4-car scrap at this stage with Adam Webb, the bottleneck, who is yet to make that stop. We've got Reynaldo Augusto and Brian Molitor all in there. Here goes Siemertz to the inside, trying to pick this one off, and he's going to put the block pass in as he tries to get through. Couldn't get it turned in. Suddenly, there is Reynaldo Augusto looking to try and make the pass, and thank you very much, that's his. And now here comes the third one here, as Molitor will go to the outside here of the Mercedes corner, trying to make it happen. I'll have the inside for the next one. Adam Webb, I think the time is coming along soon where he needs to be thinking about that pit stop.
Gleeson just moved into 4th position, past the 18 car, so 2.9 seconds up the road to Matt Wood, however.
Yeah, and that's going to hurt. Piotrowski's done quite well, and there is the battle I was talking about here, which was Horrell versus Bartosic, and in fact, Piotrowski's gone so wide down at the Spitz curve that Oliveira's now found a way through. But here comes the move then, as they have to try and think about how they get through. That was Imran Magal, the lap traffic then on the inside, which pretty much stopped any run in its tracks. So Bartosic still holding on to that one at the moment. He's been really good at getting consistent finishes so far this season.
Yeah, exactly right, and that's what it's all about. To finish first you have to finish, and yeah, been doing a fantastic job throughout this championship so far. Watching back here, this battle.
Here comes Philpott.
P16, Augusto just getting past there.
And there in the pits then is Bradley Philpott, and we'll have Piotrowski for company as they dive in. So they're going to be on the same strategy from now until the end of this race. So the question will be, how quickly can Bradley Philpott charge back through the pack on those fresher tyres? Martinez then started to look behind as well. As you can see in front there, the battle between Oliveira and also Gleeson. So now Martinez looking behind. Here comes Hankan Guven with the DRS, moving to the inside to make this one happen, and gets it done under braking. Nice, comfortable move up then into what is now P5 for Hankan Guven.
Yeah, fantastic move there, and we've got Reynaldo Augusto into the lane. He's going to draw it right back. We saw Philpott come out there, so he's sitting P11 at the moment with a fresh set of softs on, and we'll see him go all the way to the end of this race with that on. Hankan Guven doing an excellent job here. He could potentially make this into the top 3.
Yep, definitely seems likely that Ihan Guben can do that. We just saw Brian Molitor make his pass then on Klaus Siemert's for position there. That's a nice change for Brian at this stage. He moves up to 15th. That puts him up 13 places so far in this race and doing a great job. A little look then from Oliveira into turn number 2. Then as the Brazilian wants to try and jump into the podium place, and he knows he's been driving well at this stage and he's trying to use the tyres to his advantage. His probably main goal right now is P2 in this race because Matteo Ugolotti is clear by 12.5 seconds over Matt Wood at this stage. But if you're going to use those tyres up the way that Diogo Oliveira wants to, he's got to make this move quickly because he'll be running out of laps, and the longer he stays behind the likes of Adam Gleeson, the more the tyre advantage flips into the favour of the medium compound.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Just touching on Ugolotti there, he's really been a class of the field this whole season. I've just seen absolute domination from him, and continuing to do that again tonight. But yeah, Gleeson driven a fantastic race so far. Doing a good job there to hold off Oliveira. But you expect to see Oliveira make his way past pretty soon. He's 9 laps on the set of softs. But they will hit a cliff pretty soon, I reckon.
Well, it's all about getting it done and getting it done well. Takes that big wide line through turn 2, narrows it off then through towards turn 3 in this parabolica, and now the DRS, he needs to close down in. He's got a very long straight and he's all the way up. 333. Which way do you want to go? He forces a lane to the inside, trying to get it done, but great braking on the outside from the fiercely forward driver there, just holding off Diogo Oliveira. Absolutely the way that's wanted. Philpott looking to try and get a move as well now as he recovers. He's got the back of Nico Veron and he will get DRS as well as he tries to make his move as we continue to see those drivers close. Philpott angling himself to the inside. He gets the move sorted. Very vocal on the radio has Brad been over the course of this race, saying, come on, I'm on a different strategy to everyone. I need to make moves.
Yeah, well, he needs to realise that everyone else is out there in their own race too, so you're not just going to give up passes.
That's going to be Adam Webb in a spin coming out of turn number 3. So I want to see if we can catch this one on the virtual racing school replay, see exactly how this one has fallen into complete disrepair in terms of a move. So here comes the chance through turn 2. This is going to be all on his own. There, back steps out, trying to get himself through the corner. That is what happens when tyres let go.
Yeah, that's exactly right. 29 laps old these tyres are, so they are pretty worn out, and his lap times, well, they're actually not too bad really. 18.4 that last time by. Obviously it's going to go up because we saw him have a little spin, but yeah, they certainly can't handle too much of this. Adam Gleeson
Mistake.
has been
Right on.
passed.
Got through again though. So there is the
that'll be
move.
frustrating from Oliveira.
Yeah, that'll be incredibly frustrating. There is the move. Oliveira falls back into 4th. He outbroke himself into the Mercedes section. And again, another little wiggle as he goes through Mobile 1, trying to recover the compound issues. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th now in a line because you've got Martinez and Ihan Guven to the party.
Yeah, this is definitely working out well for Ihan Guven there. He could definitely get a top 3 here. Adam Gleeson again though, driving a fantastic race and not really putting a foot wrong, and Oliveira will be frustrated at himself, and he's worn out those tyres pretty quickly.
Yeah, he certainly has. We have lost 5 drivers from this race. Ray Griffioen we saw have his issues early on, with Dan Buffton finding himself in the big retirement. Dan Jiang with the front wing. Sergio Borgia was an interesting incident there through the final corner. And the one incident we did miss ultimately was Mitchell Welker, who is out of this race at the moment as it continues on for position number 3 as they continue to work out where they need to be in terms of best place. The one weakness right now for Oliveira is he's in a train and he doesn't want to be. He wants to be trying to pull away and get away.
Yeah, that's exactly right, he does. But Gleeson is not making it easy for him, and this is just opening up opportunities for Martinez and for Ihan Guven. a bit of a gap back to Bartosic there, 12.6 seconds. So I don't think we'll see anything further than 6th place have a chance at getting into the top 3. But yeah, fantastic battle here throughout this race.
Yeah, and that's where we're starting to see it here. The drivers trying to work out what have they got available to them again through towards turn number 2. Oliveira is looking every which way for an advantage to try and gain that place. Of course, Gleeson does not have DRS. There is no car in front of him. 1 second clear, and they're all starting to back each other up. They've got 13 seconds, this group, Thomas Bartosic, but here will come Oliveira. He'll make that move on the inside. They'll have to go side by side. The big wide parabola taken then by Gleeson, which does still open the door. Look at that, tyre to tyre then, as they try and attack towards that Mercedes section. You've got Oliveira on the outside, Gleeson there on the inside. He's trying to go up and under there, I think, was Diogo Oliveira, but realised, oh no, he's still alongside me. I can't make that happen. I'm going to have to yield.
I'll tell you what, Gleeson, this is the driver of the night for me. He's really doing a fantastic job at holding off Oliveira. And this is just opening up opportunities for Gervain and for Martinez, though.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that's the case, as this race does continue here. They go on to their 33rd lap of this race, and they know they've got 11 laps remaining then the next time they cross the start-finish line. And again, Oliveira looking so aggressive through the Norca. He now has a lane to go and attack at turn 2, but again, he decides to lift out of it, go for the prime overtaking place here, which is going to be at turn number 5, the Spitz curve. So now it's all about attack, attack, attack. He knows that Guven can't make the move. He goes to the outside. So now he goes to try and attack for it here on the brakes into the hairpin. Guven behind gives a little bit of a tap there, I think, to Adam Gleeson. And that is a chrome horn pass, if ever I saw one.
Yep, fantastic job there. Took him a few laps to get it done, and yeah, Gleeson, fantastic driving. So Gervain, he's just going to sit there and then put the pressure on Oliveira, and yeah, Oliveira's going to have some pretty worn out tyres. We've now got 11 laps left in this race, so he's going to want to try and stretch that gap as much as he can now, and try and pull away.
Yep, he'll try and do as much as he can to pull away, but he realises here at this stage that Guven will be coming back to him late on in this race. Gleeson and Martinez are also going to be trying to do their level best to get this one as close as possible. Martinez just pushing a little bit too far wide there out to the final corner, and he may have just dropped the train then as he now really tries to get back using everything that he needs. His last pit stop, of course, on lap 18 of this race. And of course, a number of drivers here are thinking about their championship. It's the best 8 of 12 results that score here, Fonty, and some drivers choosing to race this one here at Hockenheim as Ben Horrell and Kent Nielsen get themselves into a little bit of a scrap. Others, not so much, as the likes of Kleber Toffoli, who's been in chat with us here today, has decided that he's going to take this one off and try and get this one back. All of these drivers will be a little bit worried in this train, which is fronted by Bartosic, because you've got a Bradley Philpott on the back of this one.
Yes, you're exactly right, and I'm sure Philpott will jump on the loudspeaker, tell them all to get out of the way for him. But yeah, fantastic battle here, and good driving from Kent Nielsen. We don't normally see him sort of up this far, but he generally keeps himself out of trouble, and generally has pretty good results.
Well, he's up 5 places at the moment. Started in P14, is in P9 right now, but it could be P10 because Philpott's already there. Thought about the inside of the Sachs curve, couldn't get there. He's just all over the back. He's like a rash right now to Kent Nielsen here as Bradley Philpott, because he knows better than anybody else, if I've got to strike, I must do it while the iron's hot.
Yep, exactly right. Got to strike while the iron's hot. Got to strike while the tyres have life in them.
Oh, no. There's contact. They're all going to run into each other. Welcome to Skittles. Ben Horrell not happy over the radio, and he's lucky he's not caught Nico Veiranen in that, who just about managed to get out of that one in avoidance. It all started to go wrong as it all went through, but now you've got to wonder here on replay just how it all went wrong. Ben Horrell then in all sorts of trouble, Fonzie.
There we go. Kent Nielsen and Philpott gone at it toe-to-toe, nearly collecting wheels. Nielsen not giving up. Here we go, though. Replay.
Well, that was the hit. that was the incident, and it still continues right now between Nielsen and Philpott, who has to defend into the Mercedes section, and he has managed to fend off the play, so he gets himself now up into P8 here, does Bradley Philpott with that move. All of that time allowed Bartosic now to really pull away, but what a wonderful battle it was. What an unfortunate incident it also was at this stage. And now, just take a little look a little bit further forward, because Adam Gleeson here is now got mirrors full of Jorge Martinez. So these two drivers falling apart. They lost 0.8 of a second, both of them, to Guven and Oliveira.
Yeah, certainly have. And yeah, Martinez looking in a good position here to get the move done. But as we've seen in previous laps, Gleeson's not going to make it easy.
Not easy, but not yet. That's the key. Not yet in terms of that move. Martinez is going to strike when he needs to, and he will be patient in terms of looking for a shortcut opportunity. Jorge Martinez isn't the sort of driver, really, you could say, Fonty, who goes out there, goes for the percentage move. He likes to go for the surefire attempt.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Philpott now all over the back of Bartosic. Is he going to make it easy for him? Is he going to put up a fight?
Well, that's the real question we're looking at here. Thomas Bartosic then thinking about it through the inside, but he can carry speed. He runs wide on the exit, though. Thank you very much. Bradley Philpott takes those, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that was pretty much open buffet.
Yeah, certainly right. Going to be a bit of a challenge for him to make up that 13.5 seconds to Martinez up the road there in 6th place. But yeah, pretty good drive for Philpott. Obviously been on a different strategy than everybody else, and he's let everybody else in the field know that he's on a different strategy. But either way, great drive. Looking at P4, Gavain and Oliveira.
Here goes Martinez.
Nice little battle.
Martinez gets himself down the inside and picks up the place against Adam Gleeson. That was as surefire can be. Gleeson may try and come back here towards the Mercedes section, but can't break as late as Jorge Martinez can, and as such, he is now going to have to drop. But yes, you are talking about that correctly. Hockenheim Guven has really done well in this second stint, just keeping himself honest, keeping himself in position, and this is the testament of why he was second in the 2019 season of the Porsche Super Cup, because he is someone who can go out there, score really consistent and good results. He had 5 second places and a race win to his name in that season. Now he's going for 3rd place here on a Saturday night, or what you could say a Sunday morning for the Australians here in what is IGPS.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Fantastic series this is. We've covered it for quite a few seasons now, and always seems to turn it on, and with a fantastic track like this one that has just been released in the iRacing service. These McLaren Formula 1 cars are pretty cool. Oh, nearly contact there though.
He left it as late as he possibly could, but he's gone too deep here, so Oliveira can strike straight back down the inside. That is the fallacies that you find at that corner, but Guven not giving up, but he gets a little bit caught on the outside, so he can't go aggressive into the next section. But Oliveira's run wide here, and Guven does pick up the place. So mistakes are plenty from both sides of the field, and that is Hockenheim Guven then recovering after what was a very poor start, back now into 3rd place.
Yes, so Oliveira's got to worry about Martinez now. He's only 1.2 seconds behind, so I've just been watching Oliveira, and those fronts are really starting to understeer on that thing. Look, he's already dropped it off track there, and especially on those kind of mediums to low speed corners, just doesn't want to turn in the front end.
Well, he knows that there's not much that he can do about it at this point, Fonty, as we got a battle for 16th place, 1 lap down. Jan Stratinsky and now Oliveira, Renato Augusto there making that move and gaining that place up. He's now into 16th position here in this race after his start right now. So good work being done, at least at this stage, as the battle continues between Kent Nielsen and Thomas Bartosic here for 8th and 9th place out on track. But the key with Oliveira is he's still got to go 6 laps on those tyres, and that is going to be the point that hurts. He's left it too late to convert to a 2-stop strategy. He is on that for the long haul, and he must bite the bullet.
Yeah, he certainly has, and he's dropping to Martinez very quickly. The gap is 0.7. Half lap ago it was 1.2, so losing time quickly, and Martinez will be in a good position here to take advantage and potentially maybe even make it to a top 3 here if we see a mistake from Gavone.
Well, maybe Hank Guven can be quite happy with the way he's going, but mistake hasn't been in his vocabulary in the early parts of the race, or since the early parts of the race. And the only mistake he made was not getting a launch off the start. There is Martinez trying to close that gap down. He was half a second quicker than Oliveira, 0.3 quicker than Guven that last time by, and one of the fastest drivers in the field over that last lap. In fact, the fastest driver in the field. Behind that, though, we've still got that battle coming into view right now for Thomas Bartosic, because here comes the Canadian Kent Nielsen looking to go to the inside. Soft versus medium, and it's the soft compound that wins out in that one on the brakes and comfortably takes the track away.
Yeah, there we go. Good move there by Nielsen to move himself up into 8th place. He's going to have to settle for that. I think he'll struggle to make up that 6 seconds to Philpott up the road, but it's all on for 4th position here. Martinez, he's gone because Oliveira has made a mistake.
Sachs curve, just like that is the mistake, and I'm sure we'll catch this one. We do right now on the virtual racing school replay. Here's how it all goes horribly wrong then for Diogo Oliveira. It doesn't look like much, and it's one of those sorts of corners where you can break 5 meters later and you sail 15 meters on. That's the sort of corner this is. You can see no sign of a lockup. There's the lockup, and suddenly he's wide, he's on the outside track, and it's pretty much open doors there for Jorge Martinez, and I'm sure that the Christmas card was maybe a little bit delayed in the post.
Yeah, and here we go. Gleason putting all sorts of pressure on Oliveira now. He's going to go for the move up the inside, and he's going to get it done. Oliveira has got absolutely no tyre left in it, so he is dropping back at a rapid pace, and I think he could probably be comfortable with finishing in 6th. I don't know if Philpott's going to be able to make up that 6.3 seconds.
Well, it'll have to be a couple of seconds a lap, because there'll be 3 laps to go over the line for your race leader, Matteo Ugolotti, who is in total command of this race and is in cruise control mode at this point in time. There are still questions here in the late stages. Can Hank Guven hold on to 3rd? The gap is 1.7 seconds right now. Bartosic staying with Kent Nielsen right now, who, of course, was a few laps later on the tyres in comparison to one Mr. Diogo Oliveira. So he's trying to manage them over to the end of this race, and the work's still being done. And Oliveira, he's had to go and bite that bullet here. He can't go any further on the tyres. He's risking a puncture with them. He was using them so hard.
Yep, he'll be disappointed in that. Those battles that he was having with Gleason had just worn the tyre out a bit too much. He's going to come out in around about 11th or 11th position, so he's got to settle for that.
He will. Stefan Piotrowski, he is behind, and he is doing some amazing lap times, actually, at this moment. He is rapidly closing to Nico Väyrynen. He's got 2.1 seconds to find in 3 laps. He was a second a lap quicker over that last lap, so it's looking like it's in the books that he can make that chase happen here. But this is where we're seeing every single part of the race come into its full focus and full course. We are 2 laps away from the end of this race, and there at the front of your field is your leader, Matteo Ugolotti. And I think the best compliment to say to this Italian driver right now here, Fonty, is that the cameras haven't been on him, because nobody's been near him since the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's what happens when you're miles out in front. We generally don't give you too much coverage. He needs to slow down and give these other guys a chance, I reckon.
Well, I would say the others, they'll have to all speed up, because they need to make sure that they can reach his same level at this moment in time. So still work to be done in terms of this race. Those gaps still looking to continue here. You've got Bartosic still trying to stay with Kent Nielsen. That's not happening. Cedric Beale there is 1 lap down, so that's not for position that they're racing for at this moment in time. It looks like the gap is stable between Guven and Martinez then in the battle for third. The real focus, though, is Piotrowski, because he's got lap traffic, which he can get DRS from in front in the form of Imran Magal, so he needs to clear that quickly if he's to get to Väyrynen.
Certainly does. Don't know if he's going to be able to get that done, though. Final lap of the race.
It is there. So 1 lap, it'll be 1.5 for these drivers, such has been the margin at the front of the field. A number of drivers have been caught and been put 1 lap down here in this one. Bartosic still trying to stay close with Kent Nielsen, then going through the Sachs curve in the arena section of this Hockenheim circuit. But at least for the moment, it looks like that the tyres are good for Kent Nielsen. He has managed them very, very well in terms of the way that this one has been going, and this has been a truly great race for a number of reasons. Keep an eye out on that guy at the front, Matteo Ugolotti. He takes himself through turn number 8, and now he will look at what is going to be the infield section through Mobile 1 into the stadium. They'll be virtually cheering him at this point in time. He got the move done after a poor start from Hakan Guven before turn number 1. From that point onwards, he hasn't looked back since. Write it down in the books. Ugolotti, this is his season. Catch him if you can, because it's 3 in a row. Lights to flag, Matteo Ugolotti. It will be second position. Long wait for what is Matt Wood, who's coming home in second, and a race to be for Hakan Guven, who is trying to win this one on pure talent, but third place still nothing to shake a stick at.
No, you're exactly right. I think he drove a fantastic second half of the race and really showed his talent. He was consistent, didn't make any mistakes. He dropped way back to about 9th position at one stage.
Piotrowski trying around the outside. There's contact as they go through. Väyrynen's trying to use every trick in the book here to keep Stefan behind here, who's going to have to really open up the final corner if he wants it. And look at that sit on the apex there. The brake check from Nico Väyrynen to confirm place.
There we go. Fantastic battle right to the end there for those guys. And yeah, great race all round, really. I thought we may have a little more retirees than what we did. But yeah, I think driver of the night for me had to be Adam Gleeson. Did fantastically well and really didn't put a foot wrong all night.
No foot wrong at all, but a lot of drivers put no foot wrong. And, well, 56 minutes and 25 seconds of racing action that has come to you here from Hockenheim has been concluded with another Matteo Ugolotti win. He wins by 13.5 seconds over Matt Wood, with Hakan Guven then in third position overall. He holds off Jorge Martinez. He closed the gap down to a second, and it's more points dropped in terms of the championship outlook. Adam Gleeson then finishes it off in fifth, with Bradley Philpott. A very nice P6 from him, recovering his way all through the field on a 2-stop strategy. Kent Nielsen, what a drive from him. He's up 7 places over the course of his race. P7 definitely worked out for him, with 8th place going to Thomas Bartosic, and Nico Väyrynen doing well to hold on to 9th. But the biggest mover and shaker in the field was Stefan Piotrowski. He moved 14 places in that race, secure himself a top 10. He started the race on the medium compound tyre. It definitely worked out for him. Diogo Oliveira had to make a second stop late to, of course, keep his tyres in check so he didn't get a puncture. He finishes in 11th, with Ocean Richards then P12 overall. The last finishers on the leading lap were Klaus Siemet and Christoph Mont. Such was the way that Matteo Ugolotti controlled and dominated this race. Reynaldo Augusto is the first driver 1 lap down, with David Weisbeck, John Pat Kelly, Brian Molitor and Jan Stratinsky, along with Adam Webb in 20th place, a lap down. It also included Cedric Beale, who was a lap down, 2 laps down for Imran Magal, and then retirements, Ben Horrell finding himself in the wall, as did Mitchell Welker, which we didn't catch on screen. Sergio Borgia found himself in troubles. He Timo Glocked himself onto the inside, which didn't quite pay off for him. Dan Jiang had himself the front wing not helping him out, so it was a retirement for him, along with Dan Buffton and Ray Griffioen on lap 1, finding the tyres at the Mobile 1 corner. That was the 28 that came to the race. That was the 28 who managed to get themselves with those final results. Ugolotti in command, and well, it's the home of British sim racing. It's Silverstone 1 week from now. What you could say here, Fonty, is classic track for Formula vehicles.
Yeah, exactly right. It's going to be a fantastic round 4 to this championship, and can Ugolotti make it 4 from 4? Guys, better catch us next week for some Formula 1 action.
Absolutely, and of course, it happens right here every single Saturday with us at SimSpeed TV. If you haven't had the chance already, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe for more amazing content that is brought to you by us, SimSpeed TV. Not just, of course, on YouTube, but of course, to all of those people who are watching us on Facebook right now. Make sure that you check out all the action as well. But a massive thanks has to go to the Virtual Racing School, who helped bring us the replays, and of course, who have been bringing us some brilliant action and guides to how to challenge these various circuits. From Jay Kennedy on the cameras, from Scott Fountain, Fonty, alongside me, I have been Jake Sperry. How do you stop a runaway train when he is driving this fantastically? Matteo Ugolotti is a cut above the rest once again. They've managed to put everything against him once more, and not even a Porsche Supercup runner-up can hold a candle in the wind to the way that he is driving at this stage. There is still a lot of time on the horizon in the championship, but just like last season, I think you're going to have to be relying here on a couple of mistakes from car number 2 to hope that this season ends up in a very, very tight battle. We'll see you a week from now as we take the challenge to one Silverstone circuit.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got rid of the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my god! Oh! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Six very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?